Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. You know, over the last several weeks, we have had the opportunity to discuss the 8 characteristics of the empowered wealth mindset as it relates to leadership. And we've covered 7 of them. Let's just review them briefly. 1, we've talked about being in gratitude, not just being grateful for something, but being in gratitude regardless of our circumstances. We've talked about being true wealth driven, understanding what are those things that value most to us and being able to make decisions based upon that. The third thing we've talked about is being vision driven, being able to see beyond where we are, beyond tomorrow, beyond a week from now, beyond our current profession, being able to look beyond everything and be able to also again ask ourselves the question, can I say no to the very important because I understand my essential? The fourth thing we talked about was being curious, being a lifelong learner, being someone who challenges the status quo, that's constantly in motion, constantly developing themselves as a lifelong learner. We talked about being compassionate, which is really, compassionate is kindness and empathy in action. We talked about being self-actualizing, understanding what really values most to us and understanding the importance of investing in ourselves and being in motion in ourselves. When I say investing in ourselves, I'm talking about our health, our spirituality, our intellect, our learning, and our cultural and emotional being. We've talked about being present. And being present means that we use the past to inspire us. We use the past to teach us. We use our future to inspire us. And we use our present to get things done. Our present is where we know exactly where we should be, when we should be there, how we should be there, and who we should be there with. And that leads us to the 8th one, which is being authentic. Over the last several years, I've had the opportunity throughout my life to have people who I felt were authentic in their lives, who really exemplified authenticity. One of those is John Wooden. Recently, I've had the opportunity to have someone enter my life who is a global leader, a global thinker, has been called upon to coach and mentor presidents and business leaders throughout the world. And I've had the opportunity to spend some time with him, and he's extremely insightful. And he has really brought me to a conscious awareness that I need to spend more time being authentic, by the definition that we just talked about. Authenticity is the degree to which one is true to one's own personality, spirit, or character, despite external pressures. When I was a young teenager, I had the opportunity, when I was walking around Pershing Square, to lean up against the wall next to a man who was getting his shoes polished. That man was a great sports figure. He was a young man at that time, and he was known as Cassius Clay. He had already won the Olympics, had had a few professional bouts, but had not become the world champion. And I was nervous as can be talking to him, and he was as kind as can be to me. And I remember him shaking my hand and wishing me good luck, and I wished him good luck, and off we went. And in that moment, that was a bragging moment, if you will, but I've watched his life, and I don't know how to judge him. I don't know where to place him, but the question is, was he authentic? By definition, authenticity is the degree to which one is true to one's own personality, spirit, or character, despite external pressures. I think maybe he was. But the person that has inspired me more than anyone else, more than even Coach John Wooden, more than Muhammad Ali, the one that has inspired me more than is our son, Nick. Now, Nick is my bonus son. He's Lori's firstborn, and I've had the opportunity to know Nick most of his entire life and to grow very close to him. And I've learned an enormous amount from him. Shortly before his passing, now this last week was the 5th year anniversary of his passing. So he's really top of mind for us. And I recall this one instance which would, I think, demonstrate his authenticity, which I think as he got closer to his passing, the masks came off and he became really, truly authentic to himself. And his sister Kelsey was sitting over the other way, and he was sitting on the couch. He says, "Kelsey, come over here. Come sit by me on the couch." And she's like the 15-year-old, 14-year-old that's like, "What? I don't know about this. I don't think this is a good idea. What would that look like?" But he insisted, "Kelsey, come sit by me." Gradually, she came over there and sat a distance away from me. He says, no, get over here close to me. So as he got closer, he put his arm around her, scooted her in tight. And you could tell with all sincerity, he looked at her and says, "You can put your leg over my leg if you'd like." So she did. He said, "Let's hold hands. You hold hands this way," and he showed her how to hold hands with her. And they sat there quietly in this moment. And he said to her, "I just felt like you needed a little bit of my positive attitude, a little bit of my positivity." I'm not sure how long they sat there, but that moment put Lori and I, we were in the same room, and just put us in a total space of awe, if you will. Because you can be in awe around somebody that's authentic. You can be in awe around somebody that's not wearing a mask and not feeling that pressure. And if we as leaders can learn how to be like Nick in that moment, if we can feel that immense power that comes from not having the pressure to be like what somebody else wants us to be like, not having the pressure to be able to wear this mask or be different in different situations, but being true to ourselves, truly understanding what that means to be true to ourselves, our spirit, our character, regardless of any external pressures. This is the ultimate characteristic of leadership, and when you combine it with the other 7, that is the empowered wealth mindset. So I challenge you to do this week, as I will be doing, as I write down in my journal in the morning when I wake up, my empowering question: can I be Lee today? Can I be myself today? My true self. It's difficult, I know, but this journey starts a little bit at a time. I hope you have an amazing week, and thank you for spending this time with me. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.